Good morning. It is Monday, 21st, 22nd. I guess it's the 20th. Ho! Birthday week. I turned 54 on Thursday. But that's neither here nor there. But good morning. So another several days, I guess, have gone by since my last update, my last journal entry. So what's going on? I am still holding just under 200 pounds on my little diet break / maintenance period. 2 more weeks to go, and then I start my deficit in earnest. So looking forward to that. I'm glad I took like a 6.5 week. It's gonna end up being like 6.5 week like break at maintenance. I'm glad I did it. If only for the reason that like mentally I am just like chomping at the bit. I am so like looking forward to making some real visual progress again. But I mean, I'm very happy with how I look and feel having been at maintenance for 6.5 weeks. There's still part of me thinks I may have gotten just like a hair leaner during the 6.5 weeks. I don't know how, but it's possible. If I was averaging roughly 198 pounds in a calorie restricted environment going into maintenance, and now, you know, at the end of this 6.5 week period, if I will have maintained just under 200 pounds, that less than 2 pounds bump up in body weight is easily explained by just holding more glycogen and water. So it's possible I lost a little bit of body fat, but anyway, feeling good. I'm ready to diet. Training wise, making some small changes. I think I talked about the last time. I'm adding some abdominal work at the beginning of every workout to serve 2 purposes. One, because I don't do abs ever, and it's probably a good idea. And 2, to kind of use it as a warm-up, because I don't really do a structured warm-up before every workout. So I added that in this past week or 2, and feel good. It requires me to be more patient when I go to the gym instead of just jumping into the first main exercise. You know, I do my abs first, and then by the time I do get to the main exercise, I am more warmed up. So it's great. And just throwing in, just to start, a couple sets of abs. I mean, what does that take? It doesn't take anything. It's not fatiguing. Central nervous wise, certainly it's not fatiguing. And it's easy to bang out and do it. I feel good, and I do feel better heading into my main exercise. And then as that goes, I was doing a lot of thought. I was thinking a lot about programming and just, you know, practical approaches to programming, and just kind of realizing, like, if I have any lagging body, I mean, all my body parts are lagging. I'm 54 years old, but point is, for me personally, I feel like I would really want to, the one body part that brings up everybody's physique, because it makes you look wider and gives you more of a V-taper and just creates a lot more separation between like your chest and your arms and everything, is, you know, shoulder work, you know, your side delts and arms. You know, I would love to just really focus on shoulders and arms. Why do I do those body parts at the very end of my workout all the time? That just makes no fucking sense, because I do understand that, you know, the very first work set of your very first exercise is arguably, that is your money set. That if you're doing legs and you're squatting, now that's, you know, maybe you do hamstrings first because you want to warm up before you squat, or you know, whatever it is. But anything. Most people, you warm up and then you go to your first main exercise, which is usually a heavy barbell exercise. You warm up through your sets, and then you have like your very first work set, your very first like all out set. That set is the most important set of your entire workout. It is the most stimulating set you could possibly do because you are the freshest, you are warmed up, so your fitness is as high as it's going to be that day while your fatigue is as low as it's going to be that day. And that is the set to go all out and lay it on the line because it's going to produce the highest amount of mechanical tension and give you the greatest stimulus possible. And then every set after that, to some small degree even, is going to be a lower level of stimulus than that very first set. So knowing that, and in terms of bodybuilding, not strength training, you want to grow your shoulders, you want to grow your arms, right? So those are the muscle groups that you want to prioritize. And since everything can't be a priority, you're going to put your other body parts almost on maintenance mode. Not necessarily you're going to like reduce the volume and not care about those other body parts, but you're willing to just kind of set them on cruise control if it means prioritizing, let's say shoulders and arms for me. Well, then why do I do shoulders and arms at the very end of my upper body workouts? That makes no sense. When my fitness is the lowest and my fatigue is the highest, then I'm going to do direct work for my lagging body parts. That makes no fucking sense. So, and since I'm bodybuilding and I'm not caring about, skyrocketing my bench press or my squat or my deadlift, I am literally just trying to stimulate those muscle groups to the best of my ability to try and build muscle, or at the very least during contest prep, making sure that I don't lose muscle in those areas. Then I need to prioritize them in order of exercises in my workout. So this week I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start my upper body workouts with my side raises. And I do side raises 3 times a week. So I do them on both of my upper body push days, and I also do side raises. I throw them in on my leg day on Saturdays. So now I'm going to be doing them first after I do abs, because I'm just considering abs a warm-up. So I go in there, do abs, then do my side raises, which I'm doing today. Then I'm going to do my seated shoulder press. Then I'm going to do my close grip bench. What else do I have on tap today? And then I think overhead cable extensions for triceps or something like that. And I'm going to see how that works for a while and see if I kind of sense any changes. So yeah, that was like a come to Jesus moment I had. I was like, what do I care necessarily how much I'm shoulder pressing if I'm not winning an award for how many reps I could do on shoulder press. What I'm trying to do is hopefully build my side delts. So let's make that a friggin' priority, which means you have to prioritize it in your workout split, in your workout routine somehow. Either have an entirely separate day or separate sessions that you come back and you do it. That's one way to do it. Instead of prioritizing it in your workout, come back for a second session and hit them while you're fresh. But, I ain't got that kind of time. So that's what I'm starting to do this week. So I'm kind of slowly moving things around, prioritizing different things, adding a little bit more volume. I'll start that again next week. So I already added, a couple sets here or there, add an exercise here or there that I had previously cut out and taken a break from. Now I'm starting to add that stuff back in. And all things considered, though, I still believe in keeping your work sets as intense as they can be. And if you do that, you don't need a lot of volume because you just won't be able to perform a lot of volume. You won't be able to perform a lot of work sets, because if your intensity is extremely high, that's it. You're going to notice a more of a drop-off in your performance the more sets you do. And that should tell you that, well, those, yeah, your first set is amazing. Second set could be probably pretty good. Third set, yeah, maybe if your work capacity is high enough, you took enough of a break, maybe you're still getting like a decent stimulus out of the third set. But if you're like the type of guy that's going in there and doing like 5 sets of bench press or 5 sets of squats, I'm not talking about strength training, I'm talking about hypertrophy training. How stimulating is that 5th set for you of whatever you're doing, hack squats or something? Like, probably not very stimulating. You're not using the same amount of weight, anywhere near the same amount of weight or same amount of reps that you were able to do on the first set. And if you are able to, then you're probably a beginner. You're not an advanced athlete. I'm advanced. Not advanced in terms of my strength levels, but I've been lifting for close to 40 years. So I'm advanced as far as my ability to inflict damage on myself. And I think that's why, like, the life cycle of a lifter, beginners need more volume because they're just not skilled enough and coordinated enough to be using the weight that they're otherwise capable of using. So because of their lack of skill, they're not able to really damage themselves the way that an experienced lifter is. So that's why a lot of beginners, they could go in there and do 3, 4, 5 sets. They actually need to make up for the lack of real effort or intensity, I should say, their inability to really put a lot of weight on the bar. They have to make up for that with added volume. And then as you progress and you become more advanced in your training, you become more dialed in. Your coordination is there. Your level of skill is there. You're able to really like crush yourself. And so just over the course of training, you can't handle as much volume. You don't need as much volume because your ability to focus and pour yourself into your work sets is so very high compared to a beginner that you just don't need a lot of sets. You could get the work done and get the stimulus done in like 1, 2, maybe 3 sets an exercise. So you just don't need it. And combined with the fact that as you do get older, your recovery ability, although it is a trainable quality, your recovery ability just isn't what it is when you're 16 years old. So I am becoming a much bigger believer in like that 1 or 2 hard work sets per exercise. And then you don't need a lot of exercises per body part per session. And keeping, if you look at your total volume over the course of the week, it's going to be on the lower side. Like, nobody my age who's bodybuilding, I don't think should be in the gym trying to do like 20 work sets of chest per week or something like that. Maybe some people could get away with that. I don't know. But I mean, if you're focused and you're taking your sets, again, talking about hypertrophy, strength training is different. But if you're talking about hypertrophy training, bodybuilding, and you're taking your sets like right to failure, which I believe, why save 3 reps in the tank? Like, you're trying to crush your muscles, you're trying to create a stimulus. Why are we saving 3, 4, 5 reps in the tank so you could save yourself for your next set? just fucking pull off the Band-Aid. Go for it. Fucking crush yourself. That's the point. Keep the intensity really high. The volume can stay a little bit lower, and then move on. So I just don't see the point of doing so many work sets for a week. I just don't see that. Anyway, I'm rambling, but that's what I'm doing with my training. I'm almost at my client's neighborhood here. I was going to talk about business stuff, but I'll save that for another time. I hope everybody has an amazing week, and I will talk to you soon.